all you amazing healers. Today I have something a little different for you. Remember, I talked to you a little bit about what happens when somebody asks you, how much is a single session? What do you do? And today I have about 3 solutions for you to help you help your clients better. Because a single session, as I said before, it's like going on a diet for one consecutive day and expecting to be at your ideal weight. Okay, stay tuned to hear more. After interviewing hundreds of amazing healers like you on my podcast, I discovered their biggest challenges include not knowing where to get started to build their healing practice, build their practice so they can attract a stable income to support themselves, and that their advertising efforts seem like a waste of time and money. I had these same frustrations during my 30-year healing history. When I finally retired as a physics professor, I needed to replace my 6-figure salary fast. As a highly sensitive introvert, I couldn't use typical sales techniques. Instead, I developed a 3-step system that replaced my income within 5 months. I've helped others develop their successful healing businesses with this system, and I can help you too. I'm Dr. Anastasia Chopelas. Listen in to discover more. Thank you so much for coming back. And today what I'm going to talk about is, what do you do when a potential client asks you, how much do you charge for a single session? And I always get really uncomfortable with that question, especially in the very beginning of when I just started my healing practice, right? So what happens is that the person, it feels to me like they're expecting it. And in the beginning, I would just tell them what I charged. And then they would have that single session and then they'd disappear. And I had no idea if they were being helped, if they got anything out of it. And me as a healer, I want them to get something out of it. My goal is to help them and you become successful. And it left a kind of a bad taste in my mouth that they would just disappear after a single session. I don't know what they expected. And I got used to then telling them that a single session can't hardly ever work. And the reason is that your energy has been in the habit of going along the pathways that it has for a very long time. And it's just like changing a habit, right? Some experts say it takes 21 days to change your habit, but actually it takes a lot longer. And it takes a minimum of 90 days to really get the energy shifted in the body so it flows in a different way. So when someone asks me, how much do you charge for a single session? I'll say the first session is free, right? And that way I can do a reading on them and find out what their body wants. What does their body tell me? If it is a case in which their body is resisting any kind of energy shift, I can tell. And I send them off to a more conventional healer, whether it's alternative medicine, massage, acupuncture, something that they can accept, right? Because a lot of people will ask me, how come what you do works when you're talking to me on the phone? And a lot of people will say, I can feel you working on me whenever you're working on me. And usually I'll get a text from some of my clients and they'll say, I can feel you working on me. Are you? And then I'll say, yeah, this is what I was doing. And then they go, oh yeah, I felt that, right? And they don't understand how it works. So really, frankly, because I have a background in quantum physics, I'm able to explain it in a way that makes sense to them, a really simple way to explain it. But if you don't have that background, that's okay. You can just say it's part of the quantum field. We're all part of the quantum field and I can reach through it to you. And that's enough for most people. So let's get back to the question when someone asks you, what do you charge for a session, right? And what I'll usually say is that that first session is free. I'll do a reading and then I'll offer them a trio of options. Number one option is I'll send them a free gift. Try this, see if it works. If it works, come back, we'll do more. Number two is I'll offer them a minimum package. The minimum package is something like 2 25-minute sessions and 2 10-minute sessions. It's spread over a period of about 2 months. And a lot of times people in that trial package want more, right? So then the third option is to set them into a healing package, like a bigger package. Usually it's 3 months, and a lot of times they'll extend beyond the 3 months. And the 3 months, like I mentioned before, is a really magical number because that's how long it takes for energy to shift in the body, so the body starts to feel really good and they'll wake up every morning feeling really good, right? So the thing to do, of course, is at the very beginning is state very clearly up front what their goals are. For example, I had a young lady, mid-30s or so, who had fibroid tumors, and her goal was to relieve her of all the symptoms of the fibroid tumors, which are many, right? Heavy bleeding, lots of pain, tiredness, anemia, all of those things, right? And I set her up with a package that went over a period of 3 months. By the end of the 3 months, she was relieved of all the symptoms, and she went back to the doctor, and her fibroid tumors has shrunk, right? So what if somebody comes to you, oh, and then there's this, and then there's that, and I forgot to mention I have a pain in my lower back, and I forgot to mention that my knees hurt, and I forgot to mention that I have this scaling skin on my back, right? That's a case in which you have to be really careful because they can keep tacking things on and expand the amount of time that you spend with them. So you have to be really careful and tell them if they keep adding on. I always tell them if I have time, I will look at those things. But I have scheduled the amount of time, right? The amount of sessions that will take care of the particular problem you want addressed. And if I have time, I'll get to it. Usually I add a little more, but not a whole lot more. And then I'll tell them, okay, we need another, let's say another 3 sessions, and I'll add on an add-on price. And it's usually slightly discounted from their big package. So for example, I package them either up by the month or the program, right? So you can have a 3-month program, a 6-month program. Instead of charging $200 for a session, let's say, you can package up to 5 sessions for $750 and make that a 25% savings. And when I first started, that's what I did, and in a matter of 2 weeks, I brought in $3,000 worth of business. And that was really helpful, and I thought, wow, that was easy, right? 3,000, it was like 25 sessions altogether. So $3,000 for 25 hours worth of work. That was pretty nice. So you'll find that people are more amenable to it. So when people ask me, how much do I charge for a session? I tell them the price of the minimum package. And I said, you can either have these 4 sessions for that price, or you can have a single session for that price. They say it's not different. I'll say no, because I want to follow up with you. I want to make sure that the energy is shifting in the way that it is going to help you overcome the issue that you came to me for. Right? So then after the period of time ends and they have gotten the resolution that they're looking for, I then go to asking them what do they want to do moving forward, right? I tell them that if they stay in a program, whether it's every month or every 2 months or every 3 months, and you schedule it all out ahead of time, right? whatever the package, whatever the program, the maintenance program is that they come in for it, then they'll stay at the original price. So I have some people that have been with me for about a dozen years, and they're still grandfathered in at the old price. And that not only keeps them there, but it keeps them healthy so they don't end up in trouble. Like I have one gentleman who came to me with failing kidneys, and they're still functioning, and he's keeping off of dialysis or needing a kidney transplant, right? That's even more serious. And a lot of members of his family died relatively young of kidney issues. So so this really helps people like that. So I have about 10, 12 people that are on a maintenance plan or other. Then I have people that come back from time to time because their problem flares up. Fortunately, not very often, but it flares up from time to time. They're very busy people. So I help them get back to kind of that maintenance level, right? And then last, the people that go away for a long time and then come back because they need your help. I usually raise my prices a little bit, but not to the current level, right? And then, of course, I quote them a package, right? Always quoting a package. And then, of course, in the package, in order to make it more attractive, you can include things like healing audios, articles, books, supplement recommendations, mini programs, right? Mini program would be showing them what kind of movements or how to do a breathing exercise, something like that. You can create it with a little video, or you can include like a lot of instruction in it. So those are really helpful add-ons that make your client feel cared for. And then lastly, there is a way to leverage your time, right? So just so you know, at least from my perspective, and probably yours if you've been practicing healing for a while, is that people fall into a similar pattern because of the day and age we live in, right? They have a similar pattern. There is a pattern of stress, there's a pattern of heartbreak, there's a pattern of sadness, there's a pattern of grief. Whatever the pattern is, and it looks similar on a really desperate group of people, right? Doesn't matter where you come from, that pattern is very similar. And when I first started healing, I noted this pattern over and over again. Like I would do measurements, and usually the solar plexus is the one that got struck first. It's right here in the core. And if they were grieving, it was somewhere in the heart. If they were angry, it was down here in the solar plexus. If they were having relationship problems, it was in the sacral area. And if they were having money problems, in the root. There tended to be this kind of pattern. And then going back and unraveling where all the issues are is also in a pattern. So you could offer group sessions for those people that fall into a particular category. Let's say you can have group sessions for people with migraines, or you can have group sessions for people with, marital problems, or relationship issues, or poverty issues, or whatever the thing is. You can create a group healing, and advertise it, and you'll notice before you get there, you'll notice that you will attract a certain kind of person. And that certain kind of person will be someone who was you a while ago and that you solved that problem. Not all healers went through this, but a great proportion of them have gone through some kind of challenge, let's say. And whatever that challenge was. For me, my challenges were relationships and health. Right? And the health, it's not because I didn't take care of myself, I did, but the health had to do with how I was navigating my own emotional life and my own relationships. So I tended to attract people that had these very same things. And likewise, because I was a high achiever, meaning I I went through school and sailed right through, and then sailed right through and got really good jobs, and I made very decent money. Not, and you can't be rich and be a scientist, but those are the kinds of people that I tended to attract that were having these very same difficulties. And you might find that this is who you are attracting. And this is the thing that you know the most and what challenged you the most. And these are the people that you could do these group sessions for. And you'll note as you start attracting people into your practice that they will fall into a similar groups. And this is where you could leverage your time by doing group healings. And the nice thing is let's say you had 10 people in a group healing. So rather than charging $200 for a single session, right? You could then charge, if you had 10 people in there, you could then charge $30 or $40 and get, let's say, $40 a person and get double the amount that you would normally get. And so that also helps you leverage your time. And the other thing that you'll note is that when you do have people in group, a lot of them will want to do individual sessions. And that also is like a multiplier, right? So I hope this was helpful today for when someone asks you, how much do you charge for a single session? Rather than giving them an answer and taking them up on it, and then them disappearing out of your life forever, which has happened a number of times. And I just said, okay, I'm putting a stop to that. I gave you some alternatives for, doing a free session, for then quoting them one of 3 kinds of packages and having them go off happy and satisfied. And then at the end, quoting them a maintenance package to really help them stay uplifted depending on who they are. Some of them want to learn energy healing, right? And those are the ones that you will then later, if you are so inclined to give classes for, right? I am a teacher, so I like to do classes. But otherwise, even during my sessions with people, I would give them clear instructions on energy healing, and that way they could follow it, right? In other words, keep themselves energetically clear. And of course, in your packages, add in some really attractive bonuses like text support. I have them text me if they're not feeling good so I can clear them immediately. Additional healing audios. Little courses, supplement, like take, these 5 supplements really help with this situation, right? And I hope that this information is very helpful and can help you grow your healing practice to a big success. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you found this message helpful, please subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up or a 5-star rating, and share it with your friends. To discover more about the 3-step system for attracting a generous income as a healer or intuitive coach, sign up for free at www.highpaidhealers.com. I look forward to seeing you there and in the next video.